Alright you lot, gather round. Today we're diving into nitty gritty of what makes M4A1 in XDefiant tick, and why, despite so-called meta guns being shoved down your throat, you might want to give this underrated beauty a chance. Spoiler alert, not about some magical meta that makes you a god tier player. If your so-called best time to kill gun ain't cutting it, maybe it's not gun, but won't pull it trigger that's issue. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. It helps channel grow. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not saying M4A1 is best gun in game or that it's gonna make you a legend overnight. No, my friends. It's got worse time to kill are all assault rifles, and yet, here I am, outgunning numpties and their fancy meta loadouts. Why? Because it's not about gun, it's about how you wield it. So grab your tea, strap in, and let's debunk this meta nonsense together. Time to show you how skill trumps meta any day. Let's crack on. Right, let's talk shop. M4A1. It's got reputation a broken old horse in world of assault rifles. But trust me, it's got more potential than fancy meta guns everyone's slobbering over. Let's break down loadout I use, shall we? Pay attention, cause this is where magic happens. First up, stabilising barrel. It ain't just a fancy name, it's best mate for reducing nasty recoil. You want to be accurate, right? This barrel keeps you steady so you're not spraying bullets all over the bloody place. Next, pistol grip. It's not just for show, gives you better control, makes sure your shots don't wobble like a drunkard's walk. Now let's talk about fast mag. It's like having pit crew for your gun. Faster reloads means less time staring at your gun while your enemies turn you into Swiss cheese. And don't forget quick draw grip. This thing gets your weapon up and ready faster than a Yorkshireman with a pint. Crucial for those moments you need to snap onto a target and squeeze trigger before they even know what hit them. Finally, padded stock. It's all about comfort and stability, keeping you in fight longer without turning your shoulder into a pretzel. So why use this loadout? It's all about accuracy and control. Yeah, M4A1 might not have fastest time to kill, but if you can handle recoil and land those headshots with this setup, you'll be dropping enemies quicker than you can say cheeky Nandos. Remember, it's not just about slapping on attachments, it's about mastering them. Get comfortable with this loadout and you'll see that it's not gun stats that matter, it's how you use them. Let's cut through bollocks and talk about what really makes you a better player. Practice makes perfect, they say. Well, let me tell you, that's as useful as chocolate teapot in gaming world. Perfect is a myth. If you're chasing it, you're setting yourself up for a right fall. But it's kicker. You can get a hell of a lot better if you approach practice in the right way. Step 1. Practice zone. Yeah, it's as simple as it sounds. If you're looking at me like I've just asked you to run a marathon, take a breath. Start with firing range. This ain't for showing off your terrible aim, it's about learning to handle recoil like a pro. And here's a tip from my fellow control warriors. Turn aim assist off. That's right, turn it off. You can control recoil without it, you'll have a massive advantage. Practice landing headshots. I know targets don't move, but neither do your enemies when they're standing still. Train yourself to aim at head height and nail those shots. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Step 2. Moving targets. Yeah, targets in firing range aren't moving, but you are. So practice moving side to side, keeping your aim locked on your target's head. If you can't hit stationary targets with ease, you're gonna have a right laugh trying to hit a moving target in real match. Step 3. Assault course. Not just a glorified obstacle course, it's where you refine your movement skills. You got these little targets while running, jumping and sliding. Yeah, you gotta hit those targets in one shot while performing all these moves. It's a bloody workout for your reflexes, and it'll help you get those crucial shots on move. Now, if you're thinking bunny hopping is unskilled, well, you've clearly never tried it yourself. Jumping around corners and landing those headshots ain't easy, especially if you're old enough to remember when dial-up were a thing. And don't forget, controller players with aim assist still need to practice. So if you can match or even exceed their skills with it turned off, you're onto summat. Right, you got practice down, you got your M4A1 setup sorted, and you're thinking your next gaming prodigy. Well, hold your horses, because now we're taking that practice and shoving it right into the meat grinder of real matches. This is where theory meets bloody reality. First off, let's chat about map awareness. You could be best shooter in the world, but if you don't know map, you're as useful as a screen door in a submarine. Learn every nook and cranny, every sniper's perch, and every bloody choke point. Knowing where enemies are likely to pop up gives you massive advantage. And no, you don't need to be next Sherlock Holmes just to learn where hotspots are. So these sniper lines and cornered for the jump shotters we're talking about, this is where it pays off. Knowing where enemies are likely to be can make difference between eating lead and sending them to respawn. And for those who think they can just run in and gun everyone down, good luck with that. Next, let's talk about movement. Here's where you put your training to test. Ever faced a sniper and thought, I'm toast. Well, with right movements, you're not just a sitting duck. Practice those dodges, jumps and slides. More unpredictable your movements, the harder you are to hit. Remember those sniper sight lines you memorised? Use them to your advantage. Move unpredictably and use cover smartly. If you're up against a sniper, don't just run in a straight line like a headless chicken. Be erratic. Duck, weave. Use those jumps and slides to make yourself a harder target. When you're close enough, make your move and take sniper out before they can line up another shot. It's all about using your practice to stay alive and turn tables. And when you're up against those jump shotters, anticipate the moves. Think of it like chess. Know the possible next move and position yourself accordingly. It's not just about shooting, it's about outsmarting your opponents. And for those who think it's all about KD ratios, forget it. Focus on learning map, using your movements and outplaying your foes. So how does all this tie together? Practice in firing range, movement on assault course, map awareness in live matches. It's a bloody trifecta of gaming prowess. Master this and you'll be making those so-called meta guns look like ancient relics. Right, so you got practice sorted, you're comfortable stomping around in your matches and you're starting to think you might be a gaming wizard. But don't start carving your name into Hall of Fame just yet. Because step 5 is where things really get juicy. We're talking about refining your movement and learning to anticipate what's coming next. First up, advanced movement. You're still running in a straight line like a lemon, it's time to wake up and smelt gunpowder. Here's where your dodging and weaving skills get put to test. Move with purpose. Slide into cover. Jump around corners and keep those movements unpredictable. Goal is to make yourself a moving target that's harder to hit than a greased pig. Now you're probably thinking, but Scotty, ain't sliding and jumping just for show? Well, think again. These moves can give you the edge you need to outmaneuver your opponents. Sliding into cover while firing can throw off enemies' aim, and jumping while shooting can make you a harder target to track. Practice those moves until they're second nature, and watch how quickly you start to outplay those who are still stuck in old ways. Next, let's get into countering snipers. Snipers are like game's version of traffic light. They're either green for go or red for dead. To survive, you need to master unpredictable movement. Use your map knowledge you've built up to avoid these deadly sight lines. When you're moving through sniper territory, don't just run in a straight line. Duck behind cover, jump around, and use environment to make yourself a tricky target. And when you spot a sniper, keep moving. Try to close gap quickly to take them out. And for those pesky jump shotters, anticipate the next move. If you see someone bouncing around like they've had too much sugar, don't just react. Predict the path. Aim where you think they'll land, not where they are now. It's like trying to catch a fly with a chopstick. You need to be quick and precise. If you can get drop on them before they can land a shot, you're golden. So what's take away from all this? Your movement should be as smooth and unpredictable as Yorkshire pudding. No one should be able to predict where you'll land next. Use those jumps, slides and dodges to keep your enemies guessing and avoid the fire. Combine that with your map knowledge and you're setting yourself up for success. Right, you magnificent lot. We've slogged through muck and mire of practice, loadouts, and real match tips. Now it's time for pièce de résistance. How to put it all together, make every game you play count. This is where you stop being just another player and start to become a bloody legend. First off, remember what we've covered. Practice isn't about perfection. It's about relentless improvement. Keep refining your skills, testing new strategies, and adapting to new challenges. World of gaming doesn't stand still, and neither should you. Use every match as a learning opportunity, not just a chance to rack up kills. Reflect on what went right, what went wrong, and adjust accordingly. Here's bottom line. It's not metaguns that make you great, it's how you use what you got. M4A1 or whatever weapon you fancy becomes ultimate tool in your hands when you mastered it. Your skills, not gun stats, are what truly define your prowess. So stop worrying about what everyone else is using and start focusing on how you can outplay them with what you've learned. And let's not forget art of it all. Confidence. Don't let yourself be rattled by next big thing or latest meta craze. Believe in your abilities and trust practice you put in. Confidence is the difference between a good player and a great one. It's not about showing off, it's about knowing you've got skills to handle whatever comes your way. So here's your call to action. Keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep playing. Your journey doesn't end with a single match or a single strategy. It's a continuous evolution of skill and understanding. And as you forge ahead, remember, every game is a chance to prove that you're not just playing game, you're mastering it. And before any of you say you're too old, that's bollocks. I've learned more in the last 2 months playing XDefiant than I had in the last 5 years playing Call of Duty, and improved because of it. If I can do it, so can you. Right, that's a wrap for this one. Smash that like button, hit subscribe and leave a comment below with your thoughts and gaming stories. I might just feature them on channel. I'll see you next time, you magnificent